Coming up in the Nationwide World at noon for this afternoon, Monday, November 2, 2020. The police are urging people to desist from attending parties held in contravention of the Disaster Risk Management Act. National Security Minister Dr. Harris Jang says the police are working to intercept more of those events before they are held. Jamaica has recorded 126 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in the last 24 hours. In international news, final push for Donald Trump and Joe Biden with a day to go before U.S. presidential elections. And in sports, Jamaican-born footballer Raheem Sterling says with better playing surface, the country can produce more top-rated players. The details after the break. Gordon. The police are urging people to desist from attending parties held in contravention of the Disaster Risk Management Act. 13 people were shot, at least 2 fatally, at a party in White House, Westmoreland that was in contravention of the Disaster Risk Management Act. It's understood that scores of people had gathered for a bike show where several bikers were performing stunts. According to the Constabulary Forces Corporate Communications Unit, CCU, the mass shooting happened after 11 last night. Head of the CCU Senior Superintendent Stephanie Lindsay says 2 persons were confirmed dead, another person was critically injured, and several others were rushed to hospital.
There was an illegal event that the police weren't aware of at a particular location. Sometime during that event, we understand that there was a dispute between persons at the location. I understand one of them could have been the promoter. The persons left and came back shortly thereafter where a number of shots were fired. At the end of the shooting, the promoter for the event, as well as another person who was a patron, and other persons were shot. And as we said, we know that 2 died.
SSB Lindsay is also urging patrons of such events to take a stand against them.
It's similar to what happened in St. Catherine. And the challenge we're having with these events that persons are showing up at these illegal events, and because police are not aware of it, it puts them at a greater risk because there's no threat or risk assessment done, as we would have done in the past, where we get the application and we do the background investigation so as to prevent these things from happening. So I think patrons will have to take a stance that they are not attending these events because they can't guarantee their own safety.
Senior Superintendent Stephanie Lindsay speaking this morning with Nationwide News. Another illicit party turned deadly in Portmore, St. Catherine on Friday night. Meanwhile, National Security Minister Dr. Harris Chang says the police are working to intercept more of those events before they are held. He notes the mass shooting at an illegal party in Portmore, St. Catherine, was linked to gang activities, and he says he suspects the incident in Westmoreland was also gang-related. According to Minister Chang, some criminals are using these parties as cover to commit daring murders. Stephen Simmons reports.
Minister Chang notes that some citizens are resisting the curfew measures imposed as a means to contain the spread of COVID-19. He says they are holding social gatherings in contravention of the Disaster Risk Management Act.
2 major incidents over the weekend associated with 2 illegal gatherings. There is the general demand by the Jamaican public to have these social gatherings where the population we are very involved in that kind of activity. Music is a big part of our brand. So they have resistance to the hunting curfew, which is necessary. The killings that take place reflects a long-standing and deeper problem of our propensity by a large number of young males largely to use violence as a means of resolving their disputes.
Minister Chang says while the police have ramped up measures to remove illegal guns from the streets, many remain in the hands of criminals.
But there's a significant number of guns out there despite of major interceptions of the individuals involved in the drugs for gun trade, as well as major fines on territorial activities. But there's still a lot of guns out there. While guns are out there and the propensity for violence remains, here we have unfortunate instances like this.
He says criminals are using clever ways to perpetrate their illicit activities. But the National Security Minister says the police are also improving their use of technology to intervene.
These parties, I guess that they're using headphones, so they're very recognized, so you don't get another abatement in this case, which we have tried a few people that recently. The Jamaican community is very creative, We certainly have to be much more aggressive and reducing these gatherings. In fact, I'm aware that there were at least 2 similar gatherings planned in St. Catherine, which was intercepted and aborted by the police before they started. So what they're doing is they use telephones to make connection and social media to advertise the dances. Once it becomes known, we have to intercept it.
He says the efficiency and proficiency of the police have improved significantly.
The police have been very creative too in responding, using the technology we have given them. We have to complete the process because the entire system is not built out. But they're able to respond almost in real time. We have to get better than that. So while currently we can respond within the kind of half hour, we have to be there before to prevent the killing. That's really what we have to do. But that's what the commissioner is asking for, to even go beyond that and remove some of the violence produced before they get to that level of even planning of executing the activity.
Stevie Ann Simmons for Nationwide News.
This is your daily COVID-19 update.
There have been 126 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in the last 24 hours. That's according to the Ministry of Health's latest COVID-19 clinical management summary. 742 samples were tested. This brings the total number of cases to 9,252. According to the Ministry of Health, the majority of the cases are from Kingston and St. Andrew. Kingston and St. Andrew recorded 88 cases. This is followed by St. Catherine and Trelawney with 9 cases each. St. Mary, St. Thomas and Manchester recorded no new cases. Meanwhile, only one person has died from the virus in the last 24 hours. The deceased is a 70-year-old female of a St. Anne address. The ministry says 20 more people have also recovered, bringing recoveries to 4,637. In the meantime, 93 people are hospitalized, 14 are moderately ill, and 6 are critical.
That was your daily COVID-19 update.
Now, the Ministry of Education has named the 17 schools that will resume limited face-to-face classes on November 9. The 17 schools are located across 9 parishes. During a virtual press conference last Wednesday, Minister of Education Favour Williams announced that the pilot project would run for 2 weeks. In the parishes of Portland and St. Thomas in Region 2, Tranquility Primary and Infant, Moortown Primary and Junior High and Yallas High are approved by the ministry to resume face-to-face classes. The schools in Region 3 in the parishes of St. Anne and Trelawney are Stairtown Primary and Junior High, Troy High and Albertown High. In Region 4, in the parishes of St. James and Westmoreland, Summerton All Age and Infant, Chatsworth Primary and Infant, and Chantilly Primary are set to reopen for limited face-to-face classes. Approved in Manchester and St. Elizabeth in Region 5 are Mile Gully Primary, Bethlehem All Age and Infant, and Ballards Valley Primary. Only Clarendon in Region 7 will be involved in the pilot project. The approved schools are Morgan's Forest Primary and Infant, Garlogie Primary, Junior High, Alston High and Kemp's High School. The Ministry of Health will be required to conduct regular inspection of the approved schools with or without prior notice. Also, the ministry will assign a team to provide a rapid response to a possible outbreak of COVID-19 in schools while classes are being conducted. The information will be relayed to the Education Ministry for further action to be taken. Minister Williams says the decision to gradually reintroduce face-to-face classes in select schools was driven by data. She notes the risk profiles of the schools being engaged are low. Mark Golding's campaign director, Dr. Angela Brown Burke, says controversial issues involving his opponent, Lisa Hanna, may still be before the disciplinary committee of the People's National Party. Ms. Hanna and Mr. Golding are vying for the presidency of the 82-year-old party. Ms. Hanna is accused of being disloyal to the party, an issue which some key operatives in her southeast St. Anne constituency have reignited concerns about since the presidential campaign began. Dr. Angela Brown Burke says she was among those who helped pave the way for Ms. Hanna to secure her place in the constituency. She says she was also among those who were called to be a mediator in controversial matters involving Ms. Hannah.
I found her efforts less than stellar in terms of dealing with those issues. And this is quite frankly one of the reasons, seeing what I saw, doing what I know, being a part of those discussions and all of that, why I could not support her in her bid at this time. I really and truly don't want to be part of it, judging that particular question in the public domain, because it still is an issue that should be before the People's National Party Disciplinary Committee.
She says she's supporting Mr. Golding because he understands the importance of bringing closure to such issues in the party.
Can I tell one of the reasons I'm supporting Comrade Mark Golding? Because he recognizes some of the issues that are outstanding. He wants to deal with the organization. He wants to make sure that the structures function as they should, that individuals have a redress within the party so they don't have to go to the media, they don't have to sit out there. He has said very clearly that we have to learn that we can't wash our dirty living in public.
She's also adamant that the Golding campaign is consistent in public and private utterances and behavior.
Whether privately or publicly, the individuals who are involved in going with Golding have maintained the same message. The delegates are clear. They want someone who has a track record, not just during this campaign, but even in his previous life when he was looking to be president, that had that track record of consensus building, that as an organization we are not where we used to be, and we need someone who by their own record in their constituency and otherwise would have shown that they are building a stronger organization.
Dr. Angela Brown-Burke, Mark Golding's campaign director, speaking this morning on Cliff Views Online. Now, PNP presidential candidate Lisa Hanna is considered the greater people person, a reason that was recorded as the largest single factor in the latest Don Anderson poll. Mr. Anderson says the people person factor was one of the top 5 reasons chosen by respondents when they were asked why they'd choose Lisa Hanna over her opponent, Mark Golding.
Here are the key reasons. We don't want to go through all 14 of them, but the top 5, 39% said she's a people person. 28% said she can best reach out to the people. An equal number, 28% said she's very popular with the people. 26% said she's the person who can best unify the party. And 17% said she is more respected.
The top factor in Mr. Golding's favor was his ability to best unify the People's National Party, PNP.
29% said he could best unify the party at this time, so this was the top reason. 28% said he can best reach out to the people. 26% said he's a people person. 24% said he's stronger. And 19% said he can better command the respect of the party members.
Of the top 5 factors, respondents chose 4 of the same reasons why they choose Miss Hannah or Mr. Golding. These reasons were the people person factor, ability to best unify the PNP, the candidate who can best command the respect of party members, and the aspirant who can best reach out to the people. Ms. Hannah commanded more votes at 39% for the candidate with the greater people-person factor over Golding at 26%. Both candidates secured an equal number of respondents at 28% in relation to the person who can best reach out to the people. However, Mr. Golding inched past Ms. Hannah for 2 other top factors. 29% of the respondents say that Golding could better unify the party, while 26% said Ms. Hannah. The Don Anderson poll also found that 19% believe Mr. Golding better commanded the respect of party members, while 17% said Ms. Hannah. Mr. Anderson says delegates will have to critically assess which of the key factors are more important to them.
When you look at the top 5 reasons for each of them, there are elements of what people are looking for in both of them. Now, which do you want to promote and which do you believe is more critically important? 39%, which is the largest single factor, say that Lisa Hanna is a people person. Now, is this what you want? Is it somebody that could connect with the people? What's the most important factor for Mark Golding? he can best unify the party. Now, they've been talking about this unity within the party, and one of the reasons identified as a critical factor in the significant loss by the People's National Party in the September 3rd election.
Right.
The top factor for Mark Golding is that he's seen as the one better able to unify the party. When you look down the line, that's 29%.
Don Anderson, pollster, speaking on Nationwide this morning with Apka Fitzhenley and Daniel Archer. In news overseas now, final push for Donald Trump and Joe Biden with a day to go before the U.S. presidential elections. U.S. President Donald Trump continues to his pace of campaigning in North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan. His Democratic rival Joe Biden will campaign in Pennsylvania and Ohio ahead of Tuesday's poll. Biden will be joined by Lady Gaga at a rally in Pittsburgh, while singer John Legend appears with running mate Kamala Harris in Philadelphia. More than 90 million people have already voted. The country is on course for its highest electoral turnout rate in more than a century. The FBI says it's investigating after a convoy of vehicles with Trump flags surrounded a bus carrying Biden campaign staff on a Texas highway. The final push for votes follows America's worst ever week for new coronavirus cases, with more than 1,000 people dying each day. And that's the news. Sports is next.